The US government continues to seek charges against Julian Assange for leaking military documents. Is Assange a criminal or a martyr for free speech? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, despite calling himself not Trump, President Joe Biden has been continuing a lot of Trump's policies. This includes continuing to seek Julian Assange's extradition to the US. First, some background. Julian Assange is an Australian who founded WikiLeaks in 2006. WikiLeaks is known for, well, leaks. The group's been in the US government's crosshairs because, like all governments, they don't like state secrets getting out of the box. Thousands of pages of leaked documents have been published by WikiLeaks, but the secrets that got Assange in real hot water were the ones given to WikiLeaks by Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning in 2010. Also in 2010, Assange was accused of rape and sexual assault in Sweden, and for that, he faced extradition from the UK to Sweden. But Assange argued that if he was extradited to Sweden, there was a chance Sweden would then extradite him to the US. Now, at the time, the US was investigating Assange, but had not actually charged him with a crime. So to prevent his extradition to Sweden, he took refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy in the UK. A lot of people wanted this guy. Eventually, Sweden dropped the rape investigation, but Assange was not out of hot water. After almost 7 years of not being able to leave the Ecuadorian embassy, Assange might have been a little stir-crazy, so the embassy evicted him. The Ecuadorian government had become less friendly to Assange after a new president was elected in 2017, not just because of the alleged poop smearing. There were also accusations that Assange was secretly fueling corruption allegations against the president. So Ecuador let UK police enter the embassy to arrest Assange. But wait, why did the UK arrest Assange? Hadn't Sweden dropped the rape investigation? Yes, but the UK went after him for jumping bail by seeking asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy. And on the same day, the US indicted him for a hacking conspiracy. But he wasn't extradited to the US. Assange has since been held at the high-security Belmarsh prison in London. You see, earlier this year, a UK judge ruled that Assange can't be extradited to the US because of the chance he might commit suicide. After all, WikiLeaks did reveal a lot of Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign emails, and people who get on her bad side very often commit suicide. But even if Assange was extradited to the US, prosecution against him would be very complicated. I'll explain why after the break. Welcome back. Many see Julian Assange as a hero for exposing the US government's human rights abuses, and he has lots of supporters, from human rights groups like Amnesty International to newspapers like The Guardian. And Pamela Anderson? I genuinely did not see that one coming. Some people even say Assange deserves a Medal of Freedom, but many critics do not see him that way, both on the left and right. Prosecutors argue the documents released by Assange and Manning had put lives at stake by revealing the names of informants. There are many who don't like Assange for undermining diplomatic relations and security. They say he's nothing like a responsible journalist and that he's not a true publisher. Some even call him an enemy of the United States. Back in 2010, Biden called Assange a high-tech terrorist, and the former chief speechwriter for President George W. Bush went so far as to call Assange the devil. And here's former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
WikiLeaks walks like a hostile intelligence service and talks like a hostile intelligence service. It has encouraged its followers to find jobs at the CIA in order to obtain intelligence.
But whether you're for or against Assange, prosecuting him raises a lot of questions about free speech. This was a problem President Barack Obama faced. Obama's Justice Department decided not to seek Assange's extradition on the grounds that what Assange and WikiLeaks did was too similar to journalistic activities protected by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Although the FBI and CIA argued that Assange was a malicious hacker who should not benefit from the free speech protections of a journalist. Still, the Obama administration never charged Assange with anything. The U.S. government didn't officially seek Assange's extradition until 2019, when Trump's Justice Department charged Assange in that computer hacking conspiracy. Where did the hacking charge come from? Well, allegedly, Assange helped Manning crack a password stored in U.S. Department of Defense computers. Those computers were connected to a government network used for classified documents and communications. But that's not all. Trump's Justice Department later also indicted Assange for violating the Espionage Act. The Espionage Act of 1917 outlaws information leaks that threaten national defense. But using it to charge Assange is making a lot of people worried. I'll explain why after the break. Welcome back. Charges against Assange under the Espionage Act have many people worried about journalism. Some experts say charging Assange for violating the Espionage Act is a dangerous move that will punish the independent media in America. Trevor Timm of Freedom of the Press Foundation argues the actions described in the indictment against Assange are indistinguishable from what reporters do all the time: talk to sources, cultivate their trust, request more information, receive classified documents, and publish them. This could make reporting on classified documents difficult. Amnesty International's Europe director warns that Assange's prosecution could have a chilling effect on media freedom, leading publishers and journalists to self-censor in fear of retaliation. The executive director of Human Rights Watch says President Biden should avoid setting a terrible precedent by criminalizing key tools of independent journalism that are essential for a healthy democracy. Assange's fiancée argues this should be reason enough for the U.S. to drop charges.
Something has got to give. They can't maintain this prosecution against Julian while saying that they defend global press freedom or defend the First Amendment in the United States. So the only thing they can do in order to be consistent is to drop the case entirely.
Well, of course, Assange's fiancée would ask the U.S. government to drop charges. But it's not just her. 24 British parliamentarians wrote an open letter urging Biden to stop prosecuting Assange. They argue the case against Assange undermines public confidence in the UK legal systems. 11 Australian MPs also called on Biden to do the same thing.
We are Australian parliamentarians, and we're calling on the government of the United States to drop the unprecedented Espionage Act charges against Julian Assange.
Voters expect us to hold accountable those who commit wrongdoing, not to punish those who expose it, such as Julian Assange.
Citizens expect us to protect journalists and publishers, not to imprison them for their work.
President Biden, we implore you, please drop the US government's appeal in light of the judgment rendered in the UK.
As far as we know, Biden hasn't dropped charges yet. But there are some concessions. The U.S. government assured the UK Assange wouldn't be held at a maximum security prison or be subjected to extra security measures. He would even be permitted to serve jail time in Australia, his home country. And if you can't trust the U.S. government, who can you trust? So what do you think about Julian Assange? Should the U.S. drop the charges against him? Leave your comments below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.